The important point here could be also that you discover the world and you do discover even yourself. There is literally nothing that is already, no knowledge that is already presented to you on the conscious level. Maybe it's a bold statement. Let's think about it. Um, you learn it, but you do learn it. There is some unconscious processes and reactions going on, but what is conscious is learned through the awareness. And that's literally how you discover the world, through the conscious awareness, through the reflection, the conscious reflection, and any other instinctive reactions that you have. They could be there, and you're definitely more than just a conscious you have a body, but um this is instinctive, and you still need to discover it consciously. And so this, in the same way you discover yourself consciously through the awareness, through the reflection, you discover the world and other people. And um, um, for this reason, you need to make a careful choices. Okay, and you can't get it wrong, because you can get it wrong, um, because you don't necessarily even know what you need. Your needs are there. You have an objective needs. You don't eat, you die. Haven't seen anyone who's been just fine without eating and lived. Same with drinking. You need food, you need water, you need other conditions for you to survive. Um, you don't survive under any conditions. You die when it's too cold. You die when it's too hot, and many other changes could just, if unfavorable, could just kill you. And so the life is full of threats like that, and you are limited. You have limited resources, um and for these reasons it becomes a challenge, harsh challenge of discovering how to navigate yourself in life. What do you choose? Because what you choose, what you center your attention at, you you what you choose you also receive, so you kind of receive the consequences of your choices, right? um you eat the toxic food and you get poisoned, right? It has its effect, and this is the nature of reality. Things have their effects, the causes have an effect, and uh life is not just neutral. It's not completely simply relative. It's hard to dismiss it, because they're crucial things that affect your life and can change it just in a second. And you are presented with the initial demands, initial conditions that are not fully uh, kind of presented to your conscientiousness. You're not fully aware of it. You yet to discover it. You yet to make it known to you. Um, but you need specific kind of information. It's not everything that needs to be grasped. Again, you have specific needs and they need to be met specifically. And the specific ways you meet them specifically affect and influence what you get. So if you have the health issues, you have to you have to uh, you have to see, maybe you have to see the doctor. You have to uh, make choices in regards to your health. You need to change this specific area. You can't just uh, deal with health issues through uh, figuring out what kind of or type of animals live in Africa. Um, you need the specific sort of information for that. So I think this provides us with some foundation to start with, because when people live in conformity, they forget uh, of the ruthless realities of survival. They start to doubt uh, the life completely. What is life? Like, there is nothing sure in life. There is nothing. But even then, I think they do understand that they are the realities in life. They have to look at the face and that they have to address. And that stay if stay unaddressed and unresolved, still completely affect your life and your well-being. um, and I want to bring an example with the with health. When you have a problem that you, let's say something hurts and you don't know like what is the cause of it, you don't know what it causes, you yet kind of to discover it, but you don't have just this inherent knowledge in you how to resolve it, right? What can you do? Well, this is the life problem. This is a good question to ask. When you don't know what to do, the problem manifests itself to you. What are you doing? Um, you use your well, you use all you have to figure that out, and what you also have, the important part of what you have is your senses through which you discover the reality and comprehend it. And so you use all that which you can. You try to feel the pain. Where does it come from? Where is the source of pain? You kind of try maybe to check to see what happens if you push it, uh, if you press, how painful will it be? And then you try to make conclusions. Um, what could it mean? And by doing so, you try to learn. You try to gather information, um, so it could affect the choices you make. So you could influence uh, what you do. and improve your the state of your life, improve your health. Um, so how are you doing? You're trying to feel it. You're trying to discover it with your senses. But what if you fail? It's ache somewhere in the part of the stomach. How does it help me? I don't know what happens. I don't know the inside processes. It happens a lot of time that people just die not knowing what were the cause of their death. And many people were getting ill and didn't know how to heal themselves, didn't know even what was the cause of their state. Um, and we suffer a lot for our uh, lack of knowledge, lack of experience, uh, inability to comprehend the reality as it is. We struggle a lot for that. Um, and the ultimate struggle, you can say, is suffering. It is death, right? But people say there is something worse than death. There's worse sufferings, sort of sufferings that can happen than death. Uh, that can be continuous and painful and frustrating and breaking. Um, but um, that's also so you build up the understanding of what to choose in accordance with also what you want to avoid. This is the important part of it. That's how you navigate yourself. You try to discover what you need the most, your actual need, not the possible substitutions. You try to discover what is that which actually answers your exact need. And you also try to discover what brings you the negative consequences that you want to avoid. What do you want to avoid? You want to avoid death. You want to avoid suffering. That you know for sure. You want to avoid pain. That is the meaning for you to keep yourself alive, right? Um, and so, uh, what leads you closer to death or the suffering and pain you call wrong, bad, not choosing that. It's not right. And what adds up to your well being and the well being of other people, because it also adds up to your proper well being, you call right and good and want to ensure yourself choosing that. And this is the good way of just understanding what you're starting with. These are the basic common sense truths that yet can help us to see that we we don't start groundless. There is the foundation we start with. We have the reality we are born in. This is the foundation. We have the reality of our body that is with its requests that present to us a quest to do something. We have a problem to solve. We have the pain to avoid. We have the choices to figure out. Um, and for that we have to understand how to make ourselves capable to discern what it what is good in its way, leading towards strife, communal strife, and what is bad for us, leading to suffering and death. Um, and all these problems are presented to us through the fact of mortality of our lives. We have to make careful choices. We can't allow ourselves not to. We die if we don't do that. We suffer if we don't do that. And then we can see that perhaps in our lives we suffer because we fail to understand and comprehend reality. We fail to understand ourselves. We fail to understand reality and other people. And we didn't adapt well enough. We didn't figure out what causes the illness in us to heal to address it. We try to sense it, it doesn't help. What do? Do we go to doctor? Do we search for the people who have it figured out, at least who have this knowledge, who have this experience? Or we just try to distract ourselves because we gave up on trying, it was too hard, and yet still bearing all these consequences of our choices. And I do believe that this is a great allegory of the health issue. Because if you think of it, this is the reality. You did not figure out what was the cause of your problems. You can die. That's it. So you need to try in all you can, is like as much as you can, using all to live through, to improve your state of being. You do it with senses to how do you do that? You do it in attempt to discover reality. You do it to discover in what you were born in. You, because you also, your consciousness, you can say, have been born into the body. Why? Because you don't have complete awareness of your body. You have yet to learn it too. And you, well, generally, I do believe we attach kind of the sense of ourself to the consciousness because it is burned only through that conscious awareness. The sense, the self is the consciousness and it's not the body. That's why when people do something when they're drunk, they say, well, I was not myself. But which self you mean if it were actually you? You mean you were not conscious. That's what you mean. Because the sense of self is born in conscious mind. Um, and so we do it by understanding, by building an awareness uh, of reality and of ourselves. And you mean, that's what separates us, right? Because the conscious awareness provides us not only with the simple existing, um, but with the awareness in which context do we exist. And this awareness, if implemented well enough, can influence the state of our being and of our life. And we do see it in our lives. We see that that doctors can help us to stay alive. We see that uh, educated person, more equipped, uh, well, to perhaps address specific issues, but to address something than uneducated person, you know, uh, on, address the field of the, let's say, of the education. So, uh, we do see that this knowledge provides us with a tool to improve the state of our life, to navigate our life with. Um, so, okay, so we try to understand it with ourselves as we ask this who have a expanded knowledge and maybe more competent and experienced than we. Uh, uh, what do we also do? We try to reason. We try to come to logical conclusion. This is just interesting capacity that we are able to discern the pattern that is happening, the laws that govern the reality, that seem to be ordered, stable, certain, that are not completely random, and in so they become comprehensible to us. We can notice this pattern. We can recognize this order, and it helps us to navigate ourselves in it. Because if it would be completely random, we wouldn't be able to comprehend it. If it would be always changing, okay, of course, you could also say that um, this is already some stable foundation, that everything is changing all the time. This is already certainty. Um, right. But I don't know how much this certainty actually is enough for you to be able to comprehend reality that is random, that is just completely changing, if you are not quick enough to adapt. Even if it would uh, be changing into the quicker rate than we would be able to adapt uh, to it or comprehend it, it's already, we would already fail to do that, but it is comprehensible. It is, seems to be structured. It does seem to be ordered, and we have this hope in attempt to figure out that order, to and in figuring out that order of reality, and figuring out the laws of reality, the principles of reality, the reality itself, to address these issues that we face with, that address us directly. It's just surprising how much you can do with the conscious awareness. Um, okay, so that will be it for these videos. Thank you. Thank you for watching.